Alright, we're live once again in downtown Saline. There's another anti-Trump, anti-Elon Musk, I think you can see right there, protest here. Saline Indivisible appears to be the group that's led the charge, organized this protest. They were sort of the organizers last time, I believe, too. It's early yet, but there are a lot less people than there were last time, and of course that was a Saturday. They are making the signs as we go. Taking advantage of some rush hour traffic to get some more eyeballs on those signs.
Just call it a deal.
Copyrighted music. I'll let that go. Don't want to get my Facebook account crashed. I'm not seeing much that's new here. You gotta appreciate the signs. They put some work into them. There are a lot fewer people here than last time. There are quite a bit of people here, so it's not, I saw just one sign there that said it's not about left or right, it's about right or wrong. Billionaires versus the middle class. I just don't know what party he thinks represents the middle class. Do you think Reid Hoffman is representing the middle class? I wonder. Upside down American flag, another distress call. So I think this is a May Day protest. I'm not sure what the significance is here for May Day. Another upside down flag. May Day could be another one of those distress signs, or it could be the day the Soviets chose to show their military might with grand parades and missiles and tanks. We'll see if we can find an organizer. Hi there, sir. What's up?
Filming.
I'm at the Saline Post.
I don't know who the fuck you are.
You know who I am?
I know exactly who you are.
Oh, good. What's your name?
I don't want to talk to you.
You don't want to talk to me?
I really don't.
Okay. You want to film me but not talk to me?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Can you tell me why you're at the protest today?
Because I don't agree with anything that's happening right now in this country.
Okay. Specifically, what are a few things that you're most concerned about?
My veterans' health care is being slashed.
Is it?
Yes. I'm unable to get the appointments that I need. My mental health care has been significantly absent my ability to be able to get it.
Just in the last 3 months?
Yes.
Before that it was fine?
In March.
In March it started?
March.
Okay. What did they tell you? Did they tell you anything about why it got cut?
The number of people that have been dismissed, the ability to get coordination for the doctors that provide that care has been significantly reduced.
Well, did you just go to the VA here in Ann Arbor?
What? Yeah.
For health care? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's been cut.
Yes. It's been reduced significantly.
Well, that's a good reason to be upset about change. Any other things that you're concerned about?
The attack on the First Amendment, the inability of people managing their social media platforms to preclude alternate opinions.
Are you talking about the old Twitter?
No, I'm talking about the Saline Post website.
Oh, the Saline Post website.
The Facebook group.
The Facebook group.
Yeah, all those platforms that you tend to get on and may or may not be using your wife's handle on at times, posting very derogatory things about other people.
I don't care what you say about me and what lies you want to spread about me, but don't bring my wife into this.
Oh, we've seen the posts, and we can only assume it's you and not your wife because your wife's a lovely person.
Right. So don't bring her into your nonsense. Now, I mean, you're just flat out wrong. You're talking about what you don't know about, and that makes you don't know what you see. How can you know what I do at my house, or in my office? You're lying. You're lying about what you think you know, and I don't care. If you want to lie about that, that's fine, but it sort of suggests your credibility on your other issues might not be true.
Well, you could consider it that way.
Well,
I'm sure you will.
I don't consider it anyway. I don't know your name, and I won't remember you after today. So anyway, I'm glad you told me what did bother you. The veterans issue is a really valid issue.
Look at it. Why don't you go put a little time and spend a little effort on that?
Well, I have my hands full with local stuff, let alone national issues.
Well, what's really bothering you then?
What's that?
What's bothering you?
What's bothering me? Really, not that much. What bothers me, I think, is that people can't vote differently. They can't speak differently. They can't have different ideas anymore without being called from the one side, you're a libtard or you're a Satanist or some nonsense, and on the other side, you're a fascist. I mean, it's just, I know people. Only 4 years ago, I was a Bernie bro, as you might call it. But I got sick of being told by wealthy white liberals that I had to go 100% along with everything they said. And I gradually realized it doesn't matter who you vote for.
Oh, so now you support billionaire Republican.
Well, billionaire Republican, billionaire Democrat. You know, the most wealthy classes in America supported the Democrats more than they supported the Republicans. The Democrats have hundreds of billionaires supporting them. Reid Hoffman. You know who Reid Hoffman is?
Yeah.
Okay. And you know he's a Democrat. And you know that he sued RFK. That was going to be my vote, honestly. It was RFK. I could vote for him, lose, and go on with it. But then Reid Hoffman, for some stupid reason, decided to sue him right out of the election. Why would you do that? Especially when that guy... Anyway.
If you talk about one Democrat's suing, think about the number of people that Donald Trump is...
Oh, I know. He's Donald Trump. He does what he does. I don't really care. Yeah. But at the same time...
See, I don't feel like you fall on the right side of any issue.
Right wing or right?
No, I don't... The issues... What issues do you support right now in this administration?
In this administration?
What do you support?
I support the drive to find peace in Ukraine. That's one big one I support.
On that,
I support RFK.
I support RFK. Supporting Zelensky and the Ukraine effort against Russia.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree we should support Zelensky.
Okay.
Here's what we did.
Here's only a democratic country until Putin decided.
It was never a democratic country. Why don't you look at 2014?
Hey, they elected their own comedian reality star who actually has been doing a damn good job.
He's been doing a damn good job.
Yes.
You know what's going on in Ukraine? It's a civil war. That's the whole right wing, the whole east side of Ukraine is Russian. Not all of it, but most of it. So we got involved in a civil war under Obama, and I don't think Obama was, but Biden obviously was. He was the czar they called him in Ukraine. With Victoria Nuland, they helped fester the civil war in the Ukraine. Unfortunately,
it began when?
2014 was when it really started to pop up, the Maidan Revolution. So Russia said, don't do that. Don't join Ukraine. Unfortunately, Ukraine got snookered because Biden then said, well, just go ahead, attack the east side of your country, and then we'll let you into NATO. But that's not what happened.
There's this little place called the Crimea that occurred long before that.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Crimea was a reaction to the Maidan Revolution and the nonsense that was going on.
This is all a power grab by Putin. This has nothing to do.
It has to do.
Anyone. The Ukrainians have always hated Russia. Russia has always treated Ukraine like shit. They welcomed the Nazis in World War II specifically because Stalin starved them all to death. They've always been anti-Russian.
The Christians. There's two separate cultures in Ukraine. There's the Ukrainians who are Ukrainian with a Ukrainian language and a church that the Ukrainians have not always, but have supported for a long time. And then there's the Russian side of the Ukraine that Khrushchev handed off to the Ukraine in the 50s or whatever it was, and then those
still part of the Soviet bloc.
Right,
they were
right.
They were just like Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, Hungary.
They weren't like Czechoslovakia. They were actually part of the Soviet Union. Czechoslovakia was never part of
until they were allowed a certain latitude.
They were never part. Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union.
Yes,
of the Soviet Union. That was not the history for Czechoslovakia.
No, they were vassal states. They were assumed. They were subsumed into the Soviet Union.
So anyway, there was but here's why I feel sorry for Ukraine, because while our CIA and our State Department was encouraging the civil war on the eastern part of the Ukraine, what did we do? We're a democracy. We elect somebody else with different ideas, then we said, "Oh, sorry about that." So they're caught in a tough spot.
Right now.
Right. But that's
exactly.
But that's why our State Department.
Is that a problem? Is that a problem with the system, or is that a problem?
It's a problem with the CIA.
Because you don't agree with what's happening. Because you would rather see Ukraine be returned to the Soviet Union or to Russia.
I would rather see what?
You would rather see them subservient.
I would rather see Russia have the part that's Russian, and then let that go. Let that go. Let the Polish part, let the German part, let the Ukrainian part stay in the Ukraine. That's what I would rather see. The world was a better place. The world's a better place when when the CIA and the State Department isn't out there interfering in everything.
Well, it's a good thing you're so focused on this national issue as opposed to all the others, but you really want to stay focused here at home. You're doing a great job, Sean. Keep it up.
All right, man.
Be a good defender of the First Amendment, please.
Be a defender of the First Amendment.
Yeah, please defend it.
Yeah, it's defended. Most people who can behave without being obnoxious never get abandoned and banned from the Saline Post or Saline Post.
I think would be a dissenting view in your mind.
There are millions of I don't care about dissenting views. I don't care about them at all.
Not according to all the people that I know that you've kicked off.
And who are they?
That's up to them to talk about, not for me.
Right, exactly.
But I know,
so you
I
don't
know specifically people who have been removed from your site.
From the Facebook page. Yeah, if you want to get on and call somebody a racist for voting for Trump, you're not going to last on that group. Just like if you get on and you call somebody a retard for voting for the Democrats, you're not going to last. We don't allow that. I can't allow that. My group will be gone if I allow that. So if you can't be civil, you're gone. It's that simple.
Civility.
Yes. Have I not been civil with you?
No, we've been totally fine.
Right. Because I don't care. You know how often I check the Saline Post to see if anything's going on? Once a day. That's it. I don't care what you say. All right. Have a good one, guys. Do you believe the Republicans are Nazis? Is that what that sign says?
No, it doesn't say anything about Republicans and Nazis.
Well, Trumpster, fire, democracy, and then on the other side, okay.
It seems like a lifetime now, you know, that's exactly what you said. I'll remember that.
Civility at its finest.
Sometimes you have to give yourself.
Donald Trump has got to go.
Hey, where should he go? What should be done about Donald Trump?
Well, he should be in prison.
He should be in prison?
Oh, yeah.
Is that
34 felonies. Come on.
How do we get him there if that's what we need to do?
That's fine.
That's okay. Just keep chanting then. Now this is a positive sign. Here we go. You are my brothers and sisters, and that's true. Yeah. Well, hey, can I ask you a few questions?
Sure may.
All right.
Who are you?
I'm Tran. I'm with the Saline Post.
Okay.
All right. It's a very positive front to the sign. It's a little bit not so positive towards Trump, but it wasn't negative towards everybody else. Mm-hmm. So, what do you dislike about President Trump, and why do you think he needs to go?
I just feel that he does not represent the interests of the American public. He is so fixated on himself and his own financial and his own political power, well-being, that he is not concerned about the individual citizens as represented by these people here.
When was the last time you had a president who you felt cared about the average American person? Honestly, maybe it was Obama, maybe it was Biden, maybe you had to go back to the 70s. I don't know.
Well, I think that I go back into the 70s when I first started voting as a citizen.
Who was the last president you thought was decent and cared about America? Americans, American people.
I think Barack Obama did.
I felt that way about Obama for a few years.
Yes.
I kind of felt like he sold it a little bit, but...
Well, he failed to take advantage of his first 2 years in office.
When he had all the Democrats.
The lesson is taught.
Yeah.
Do it what you're going to do the first 2 years.
Especially since he had the Senate and the House the first 2 years. Yeah.
I taught American government, AP government for 34 years. Well,
where'd you teach?
Up in Bay City.
Oh, cool.
And I feel bad for the students that I taught, that we are not living up to the standards and the lessons that were imposed upon us, or I shouldn't say imposed, but granted to us by our founders.
Yep.
And we're just taking that for advantage. And it's really not good scene.
Can you tell me your name, sir?
Bob.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Have a great one.
May you do the same.
To Costco to get my gas.
All of a sudden, there was a definite whiff of weed. Here we got a Stop Trump, Stop Musk. Hey. Deport Nazis. Excuse me, ma'am, can you tell me which Nazis you'd like to deport? You think he's a Nazi? What do you base that on? I've seen a lot of people since then post pictures of other leaders do the exact same thing, but do you really believe that was a Nazi salute? Okay. Has anything he's done since then helped you believe that, led you to believe that, or reaffirm that? Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. Excuse me, sir, I was wondering if you could tell me what are some of the examples of fascism you've seen in the USA under the Trump administration?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you.
You want examples of fascism?
If you think there's been fascism, I'd love to hear them.
Well, let's start with the dictionary definition of fascism.
Mm-hmm.
It's authoritarian power with a corporate aspect.
With a corporate aspect,
and
yeah.
sometimes quasi-religious. Depends on how the dictator's feeling.
But in college, it was always tied with corporatism and authority, right?
Right. So, who's the money behind Trump? Not small money, it's big money. He's got the tech pros.
That's true. But are you saying there wasn't any corporate money behind Kamala Harris?
Yeah, but see,
or Joe Biden?
See, that's just that equivalency thing.
Okay, but were you out here? Did you think that was fascism? Did you think?
No. That by itself is not fascism.
No.
But it's just one of the boxes that you check, and after you've checked enough boxes, you got to come to the dictionary definition and the conclusion.
Well, here's what I would suggest, right? And right up until about COVID, I was on the left, right? Here's what I would ask: was any of what you saw in COVID, the laws, the lockdowns, the masks, the vaccine mandates? You have to get it, or you can't have your job, or you can't go to school. Was any of that? Did you consider and the way
I think it's a little overblown.
Bezos and everyone got rich. Yeah, but that affected every American, not just.
But those were private companies, private businesses that said wear a mask or you can't work here, not the government.
Those orders did come from the government, though.
What government are you talking about?
Washington Health Department. You got to wear a mask. What about schools that said you have to, in order to continue to come here?
That's fine. I'm an ex-teacher. Through all my 25 years, you had to have the measles vaccine to go to school.
Measles vaccine, whatever it was a proven vaccine. What was the COVID vaccine? Is it even? Is it more than genetic therapy?
Oh no! The COVID vaccine, time and time again, proved itself effective. It really did.
Really?
Well, yeah. Groups that had a higher rate of infection, vaccination, had lower rates of infection.
And I advocated for senior citizens and sick people to make sure they got vaccinated. However, are you telling me that a 20-year-old was at serious risk of COVID? They had to get a vaccine to go to the University of Michigan?
If the University of Michigan says so, absolutely.
The University of Michigan is a government organization.
But did the University of Michigan say so?
Yeah, but it's the University of Michigan is a taxpayer-funded organization run by elected government officials.
What they told the University of Michigan was, if you do not do that, your state funding is going. The next round of state funding is at risk.
Hold on, I got a guy here who wants to talk to me. He's going to yell at me even harder.
Oh, I'm not yelling at you. I appreciate the conversation.
I don't know if I would. No. You guys have all been awesome, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
and I grew up on.
You want to know how much I was paid?
For what? Oh, to be nice to me?
No, just to be here. The Soros thing, you know.
Oh, yeah, you know
all
what?
these guys are paid.
I don't understand the Soros thing. Musk just donated how much money to Trump, you know, and how much?
Supposedly $250 million.
I've seen that number.
And then there's
So how do you-
Wisconsin. He was handing out $1 million checks in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is where he got his hand slapped and said, you got to back off a little bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I always support Musk because I don't always support him. I didn't like how anti-union he was with Tesla. However, I'll always support what he did with Twitter at the height of the pandemic.
Yeah, but cutting off
To
thumbs
open
for
that
kids
up-
with cancer?
That's not him, is it?
Doge is the one that is going around. You've seen the chainsaw, right? It's them.
Well,
It's
I
the
don't know.
Doge
I don't
boys.
know that for a fact. If you know, you know. I don't know that.
Well,
I know
I trust my source. The other thing I'm worried about, though, among many, is they're starting. So the Doge people go into all these different federal agencies and leave with the data. That's very dangerous because they can create comprehensive files on you.
They already have
and
that,
me.
man. What do you think Google is and Facebook?
Yeah, to some extent, you're right. But the government has firewalls in place between cooperation and data sharing.
Anything
between
the
their
government
agencies.
wants to know about us, they'll find out.
Yeah, but
instantly.
absolutely, Google is reading where I'm shopping and where
My phone is telling me they
and
can
my
create
searches. Yeah.
the profiles they can create just off my phone.
But see, that's not the government. That's the guys who's giving money to Trump.
Well, the government works. The government works with the biggest corporations, whether it
they
was
have
during
to.
the
Absolutely.
pandemic
Right.
or whatever else.
Right.
I want to go talk to him. He wants to get my ear. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Safe travels, man.
Hey, sir.
I was going to mention to you.
Right. Who are you? Bob. Okay.
I'm over there.
I got a bad memory.
Yes, it's all right. My major concern also is that looking historically, Donald Trump is a puppet to Vladimir Putin. If you look at the entire history, go back during his early time as a businessman.
Well, he was a puppet to everybody in that regard. Saudi Arabia, who
Right,
isn't a
right,
regime
yes.
I like either.
Right.
But nothing against people from these countries, but yeah. But here's what I would say: when that, what was it? Rumor of the P tape, and that I bought it. I bought all that stuff, you know. But that was my own bias because I didn't like Trump either. And then we used Trump, Russia. We used the Ukraine to impeach him. What did Joe Biden do in the Ukraine with that money? Well, what did he say? You're not going to get that $1 billion unless you fire that prosecutor.
Yeah.
That's what he said as VB. You know.
Yeah.
So this. Anyway,
So, yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah. So, just follow up on that.
You live here in town?
Outside of town.
Okay.
None of them live in town.
I recognize some for sure.
very few.
But why would they all come to Saline for a little protest?
Because it's a main thoroughfare. That's why. So this guy has a sign that says deport Elon Musk. I said, why would you deport an American citizen?
Right.
He goes, well, he's from South Africa. I said, well, my grandparents are from Ireland.
Yeah.
So I should be deported too? I said, he's from South Africa. He's an American citizen. He's
Right.
creating hundreds of thousands of jobs.
Yep.
He's uncovering billions of dollars of fraud, and you want to deport him. This sign, he's going to kill us all. How the hell is he going to kill us all?
I don't know. There's a lot of hysteria for sure when it comes to talking to people about
if
Trump.
He was going to kill us all. He'd just fly a warthog through here and open fire.
Right.
You know,
Right.
none of them make any sense.
And I can
They'll talk to
understand
you-
some of
they'll
it.
talk to you for a minute, but then as soon as you
Challenge
make
them.
common sense,
Yeah.
they literally told me, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
What I find is a lot of people are so willing to believe anything they're told. The media is 24. The main media, mainstream media, for the
Right.
most part,
Right.
is 24/7 against Trump, except for Fox News, and even Fox News is looking for reasons to get away from him.
Yeah. I asked this guy in the blue shirt, I said, do you know who started deporting illegals without due process? Bill Clinton. You
Yeah.
know who deported more illegals than anybody else? Barack Obama.
Yeah.
I said, 2 Democrats. I said, why weren't you all here protesting then? I said, Trump has deported probably less than 30,000 people.
I heard that. I read the other day that Trump was behind Biden on deportations because all of his deportations are getting challenged by law,
Right.
which seems crazy to me. But I think a lot of it is just to defeat him, make him look weak as much as possible.
Yeah. For what reason? I don't know.
Right. Well, if they make him look weak, he can't do anything. People get fed up. They vote somewhere else in November. But
Well,
I think that's the
thank goodness the
idea.
Republicans control everything right now, and Democrats aren't really doing anything to
That's
regain seats.
that's the thing. If they don't do anything, how are they going to win?
Right.
You know?
Yep. Have yourself a good evening.
Anyway, have a good one. What's
too.
your name, sir?
Tim.
Tim?
Yep.
Last name?
Kehoe.
Kehoe. Okay, I know you. Yeah. All right. Have a good one.
Tim.
Oh, excuse me, sir. Hi.
I'm busy at the moment.
Okay, I'll be back. That's the organizer of this indivisible event.
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Well, I'm about ready to turn the camera off and see what we got. Take some pictures. We got a little bit of a runway here. Stop fascism. Due process. Hands off. Are they actually touching those? I just read an article that they're not.
Hands off whether they are or not yet.
Okay. Trump? Hey, any idea why we're doing this on May Day? Anybody know why?
Well, it's worldwide, isn't it? Made it?
Yeah. It's kind of an odd choice, though, considering what I know about May Day of the past. Unite for the... What does that say? Unite for right?
Right or wrong?
Oh, okay, actually, that kind of right. Wrong people are disappearing. I don't want to see anybody disappear. All right, they're still coming in too. So that's our live video coverage here. Maybe we'll talk to the organizer if he sounds like he wants to avoid the camera, but we'll see. He wasn't comfortable with the camera last time, I believe.